Okay, welcome back to the Ghost Island tutorial. Now, this one's going to be a really short tutorial. Hopefully by the title you know it's going to be about tile mapping, how you can draw tiles and maybe have some, if you want you can have custom tile sets, but I'm going to do that in a later video. Today we're just going to see how you can make a sprite turn into a tile and use that to build our level. Okay. So in order to get started with that, we just need to go to hierarchy, right click, and create a tile map. Okay, so we need to create a tile map. So I'm going to click on 2D objects and select the tile map object. When you do that, it just opens up this grid. Okay, so if you click on the drop down, you'd find this tile map. Alright, and you use this basically to build your level. If I zoom out, you can see it's ginormous. It's like it covers the entire part. So whatever you want to do, you can like build here. Okay, hopefully the way I've designed this entire series, you guys have a better understanding of how game objects work, because all of these are really empty objects that we built from scratch. So tile map, you can see it has a tile map component and a tile map renderer component. Okay, I'm not going to go into any of the details here, okay, which is quite not necessary for this tutorial, so I'm just going to minimize them. Okay, now to create a tile, what we need to do is we need to open up what we call the tile palette. Okay, so in order to do that, click on the window, okay, the top left, I guess, yeah, around the left corner, I guess, window, and then 2D, and you're gonna have the tile palette. Okay, so again, window, 2D, tile palette, that opens up this tile palette for you. Okay, and here you basically have the tools to design. All right, now when you have opened this up, you need to create a new palette. Okay, so you can store your tiles there to use. As I said, you can do custom tiles, but as this is the very beginner's sort of game, I'm not doing any of that. Rather, we're just gonna make our own. Okay, which is kind of like a theme, kind of like the theme of this entire series. We did everything from scratch. Okay. Anyway, so to create a new tile palette, just click on here. Wait, let me see if I'm live. OBS sometimes does this, but I'm not live and I've recorded like 10-15 minutes. Yeah, okay, anyway, so create new tile, create new palette, that is. So click on there. Let's say name this walls. Okay, so this tile palette will have my walls. Obviously, grid's going to be rectangle. Cell size automatic, just leave it to automatic. Okay, and press, oh my, oopsie daisy. So yeah, walls, press create. That would ask you to save this palette somewhere. Okay, now what I would recommend, I should have actually created a folder here, but this gives us a better understanding of how they are really folders, nothing but folders really. So if I go back to assets here, I have prefab, scenes, scripts, and sprites. What I'm going to do is I'm going to create another folder. Let's call this tiles. Okay, and yeah, tiles, and just select that folder. So now you'll have under this project view rather, you'd have under assets, you'd have a new folder called tiles. If I click on that, you'd find this tile palette being created there. What happens here really, what have we done? We haven't really done anything other than just creating this palette, which we can now drag tiles onto. Okay, to create our own tiles, I can just go back to my sprites folder. Okay, I already have one circle for my players, a coin, which is a diamond, and square. So you can use one of them if you want to, or you can create another one. It's not necessary to create another one, but I'm just going to do that anyway. So right click here and create another sprite. Let's just go with another square, because obviously it's going to be a tile. So tile sprite. I'm just going to go tile sprite. Okay. Now what you need to do is you want to drag this over to here. Okay, so when from there you just drag it over and it just turns into a grid. Just leave it there. Now this will ask you to name this tile. So this is going to be my, let's say, green tile. So I'm just going to call it green tile. Okay, save, and it generates this tile. Okay, so this tile that you have here on this tile palette, you can use this to paint. However, if you're going to modify it, like change the color, as it says green tile, obviously I want to change it. You want to double click on, single click, and that opens it up on the inspector. Okay, when it does, you can change the tile to whatever color you want. Okay, as I said, I'm going to go with the green color, so very deep sort of green color. Okay, if you wanted, you can use custom sprites here as well, you can see. Okay, collider type is important. Okay, we want to have collider, yeah, we want to have collider types, obviously. We'll talk about it when we get to collisions with it, but this is how you basically set it up. Okay, now in order to get started with designing, you just click on the tile map to bring the grid map again. Okay, and then using, well, basically just click on here, right, and you can come back and start painting like that. Okay, and if you just go back to the game view, you can, I'm just doing it outside my camera. Okay, there you go. You can see how you have this tile map appearing. Now remember, I'm not doing anything with collision for the moment, so if I just play my game, the oh my god, it's gonna be hard. I can actually go through them, but remember in my demo game, the tiles do kill you. And we're gonna make it happen, okay? Before I do that though, just for practice sake, I'm just gonna do another tile. Okay, so I'm just gonna drag over another tile sprite here, leave it maybe there. And this one gonna be my red tile. Okay, so red tile, saving it. Now, going to modify, I'm just going to click on it and select a color to red. Okay, sort of bright red. Cool. Now we can use this one to go back to scene view, and you can paint. Okay, so using this, you can really make your like start building your level. Now, one thing that I do want to focus on here, right before that, to delete, it's quite intuitive actually. You have this eraser button. Okay, if you hold D, just deletes. Oopsies, just deletes. But you can also click on the eraser tool here and then erase the tile. All right, and that's about it. Click on it. Click on the tile again to paint. Now, one thing that becomes important now with that tile is that we can actually go out of view, because obviously you can make paths like this. You can have paths for your player to follow. Okay, and you want the camera to be able to follow your player along wherever the player goes. Okay, so with our current setup, you can't really have any sort of, oh my god, it's so hard. You can't really see the player once it goes out of view. One of the easiest trick to make the camera follow the player is to just make the camera object, the camera game object, a child of the player object. This technique would not really work in most of the games, however it would suffice in our case. Okay, especially if it won't work when you're doing a racing sort of game or any other like first person shooters. It's not gonna work, especially in 3D environments, but for us this would do it. Okay, so what you need to do is just click on the hierarchy, right, and left click on the main camera and just drag it on top of the main player. What this does is it makes the main camera a child object of the player. One of the reasons I did the coin parent and also the baddies and the empty object is to show you guys, whenever you have a parent object and a child object inherits the parent's position as well. Okay, so if I go to my scene view, and if I can move, well, if I can't because I'm in the editor for some reason. Okay, so if I go back to game view, if I move, man, this is really hard, like, not gonna lie, it's hard. Now you can see how my camera, as the camera is a child object of the player, okay, the camera follows the player. Okay, now as I wanted this to be a really short video, I probably would just stop here, yeah, around 10 minutes mark. So I'm just gonna stop here. But yeah, so you have the tile. You can build your levels using the tiles, and also the camera can follow. The next tutorial, we're just going to be focusing on how we can get detect collision from the tile, so we can take damage from the tile, and also we would like to get started on some touch input as well. So right now, a game can't really use touch, but we want to do some, so like you can't play on touch devices, but I do want to have mouse events as well. Okay, right, so I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.